Another round of the atmospheric river, sometimes referred to as the Pineapple Express, may be returning to the west coast as several storm systems may bring heavy flooding rains and feet of snow. We'll talk about it coming up next. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. I'm your host, meteorologist Greg Majeski, making a difference one subscriber at a time. And before we get started, I always like to thank all my subscribers, currently sitting at 3,100. And if you're new to the channel and you have not yet subscribed, it would be an honor and a privilege to give you some weather information on a regular basis. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future content, and give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you got any questions. I always like to respond to it. It'd be great to kind of help you out with planning your weather needs. All right, we're going to be talking about this today. Yeah, the atmospheric river. You kind of heard that term thrown around a lot on social media here in recent weeks, and it looks like we got another round coming our way. So let's go ahead and talk about what you need to know for this edition. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find what an atmospheric river is. We're going to take a look at that and kind of its impact on the California reservoirs there. We're going to look at the latest model data. We'll see how many systems are going to be impacting the West Coast and see how they kind of propagate across the country. We'll look at those overall rain totals, which are going to be quite impressive up and down the West Coast. And then finally, we'll look at the snow totals, as we do have some snow that'll not only be hitting out areas in the west, but also kind of propagating across the northern tier of the United States as well. So we got plenty to get into for this edition, a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So I have this nice little graphic here to kind of illustrate what an atmospheric river is, sometimes referred to as the Pineapple Express. And the reason why it gets that kind of a Pineapple Express nickname is because it's tropical moisture that's kind of flowing from near Hawaii, and it kind of streams out toward the west coast, and it can really provide a lot of moisture. Check out that where it says atmospheric rivers can carry as much as 15 Mississippi rivers and can provide 50% of the West Coast water precipitation all at once. And they've already had one run-in with the atmospheric river, and with the second dose coming in, boy, we're gonna blow right past our averages, especially when you factor in El Nino, when you have warmer temperatures in the tropics or warmer water out there, you have higher water vapor, thus you can get more moisture in across areas of California. And you can see this very well here on this diagram here, showing the California seasonal water storage, which is already running way above normal. The total water storage is above average at 98.2%. The reservoir storage is at 114%, considering the peak is typically around May 31st, and the snowpack is also running above average. So we're going to be adding to those totals, so flooding could be a problem in some areas out in California and out on the West Coast as this new surge of moisture comes in. So let's go ahead and take a look at the latest model data and track those storms and see how they're going to move across the nation. So we're going to begin by looking at the American GFS model here on your Valentine's Day. The 12Z models, we're looking at the jet stream at about 300 millibars way up in the atmosphere. And we're going to watch as this jet stream is going to kind of get a little kink in it as it's approaching the West Coast. So let's go ahead and zip on out of here. As I go ahead and take you forward here, you're going to see there's a little area of low pressure here that's going to be driving this jet stream down to the south. It's going to cause a little kink in it to kind of develop a trough that's going to tap some of that tropical moisture and bring it into the California coast. So watch as I go forward in time as that low kind of rotates around, it kind of dips down, and the jet stream dips further and further, bringing in a series of storms that will be coming in out into the West Coast. So as we go into early next week, and it'll start into the weekend, into early next week, you're going to be tapping some of that moisture. It'll be driving it this way and kind of going like this and driving that moisture into California. So you're going to see a series of storms that will progress through there, bringing in some rains and some heavy mountain snows over several days. So again, I don't believe this is going to be quite as impressive as the last round we had just a few weeks ago, but we are going to see some very heavy, significant rains and snows adding on to what's already been a wet winter pattern for the West. So switching over to the precipitation type here on the American GFS model, we're going to take you out for the next 10 days, 240 hours, as we're going to watch the current system out here on the west. It's going to kind of cut across the Intermountain and kind of dig on down toward the south. We're going to see another little disturbance running in the subtropical. It's going to come in some rains across, heading into Florida as well. And so let's go ahead and step this forward. We're going to get this one system to clear the West Coast. We get a couple days break, and then we'll see the series of rains kind of come into California again, heading into its upcoming weekend. So there goes that little disturbance from the West Coast currently. It'll be kind of diving down in here across areas of the Ohio River Valley, heading back into the south central United States, bringing a little bit of rain there as we got this cold shot expected for this upcoming weekend. We get a little bit of a break from the precipitation out west for a day or two, but that's going to be short-lived because we go into this upcoming Saturday and Sunday. There's that next storm system dropping some heavy rains in California once again, as well as the Sierra Nevada getting that heavy snow amounts out there as well, and it'll just continue one series after another. There's another one going into Monday, all up and down the California coast from Los Angeles heading up toward areas of San Francisco and the upper part of California with the heavy rains, and it just kind of sits there for days. That moisture plume just continuing to drive the moisture into California. Now, keep in mind that trough right there and that low pressure, if it kind of wavers a little bit, where that heavier precipitation fall may change a little bit, since this is going to be about a week out. So it kind of sits out there again, just one after another. Moisture still coming in. Here's another moisture kind of coming into Southern California as we go into the day 10 here. But notice most of the country's not looking too bad. Although as I back this up, you notice we do have one cold shot coming in here heading into the following weekend, going into, say, the 24th. So you got some very cold air, a little bit of the polar vortex kind of breaking down and going into the northeast there with some very cold frigid air, and a little bit of moisture here across the south. But otherwise, the bulk of the moisture in the fall is going to be out here on the west coast with those series of impulses and that atmospheric river just one after another that's going to inundate portions of California. Now let's go ahead and switch over to the total rainfall totals covering the next 10 days across the nation. Now, watch California. That is where they're going to continue to see that heavy rain. There's the current one here for the next couple days. We get a little bit of a break, and then here comes the next wave coming in. And it's really, you can almost look at it as waves, one after another, just kind of piling on here over several days here, going out again 240 hours here. And I'm going to stop it at 240 right there. And you notice that we're seeing some very, very heavy rains out here out on the west. Let me close that off. So again, you can see right through here some very heavy rains. And also Florida's also going to get some of this tropical moisture as well a little bit earlier, heading into early portions of next week. So we're talking again rainfall totals 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of rain. And depending on where this sets up, again, if the trough is deeper, it'll be further into Southern California where some of the heavier rainfall will fall. But regardless, most of the state's going to be inundated, and those major reservoirs are definitely going to be filling up quite significantly as we go into the next 7 to 10 days. Let's go take a look at the snow totals now. We're going to go switch over to the snow mode here, and we'll take a look at the total snows and watch out there in California as well. And we got several systems going to drop some snows across the nation as well, so we don't want to forget anybody out there as we're kind of progressing through this. Notice as we're going into this upcoming weekend, I got a little snow path going in there across the northern portion of the United States, so you get some snows kind of running in with the system right through there. But notice the snows here really piling out here out in the west, here heading down from Washington, Oregon, and into California for just that initial wave. And then we get another little system that'll drop a little bit of snow here across areas of the mid-Atlantic and switching back over toward Missouri. But we're going to really pile it on here, especially after Saturday as we go into early next week. Look at this as, again, you got all that moisture coming in. You see the white going in there into California, and that's significant. When you see the white, that we're talking feet of snow across the Sierra Nevada on top of what they currently already have across that same area. So again, stopping this at about 240 hours there. Again, you can see we're talking feet of snow out in California, and a lot of heavy snows here across areas of Oregon and parts of Washington State. Getting a little good, decent snow totals here across areas of New England as well. But again, focusing in on California, let me highlight some of these totals. And you're looking at 63 inches of snow, 58 inches of snow, 50 inches of snow. So we're talking 4 or 5 feet of snow. Again, this is not quite as impressive as the earlier atmospheric event, but still quite significant as we're going to really pile up the snow. I can say for at least this year, just like last year, California's drought problem will not be a problem, will not be returning. Although we are going to be heading toward La Nina season later in the year, it looks like the reservoirs will be quite healthy as we head into the better part of 2024 as far as California is concerned. So I'll be watching this developing weather pattern very closely as we go in for the days ahead. So you folks out there on the West Coast, just get ready as you're going to be inundated here with a lot of moisture once again. You've been through it once before, and you're going to go through it once again. And of course, we'll be watching the cold air coming in for this weekend, and again, some more heavy rains coming down toward South Florida as well, across Florida Peninsula as we go into the next 7 days. All right, that's your update for now. If you have not subscribed to the channel and you like what you see, I'd really love to bring you on board. All you got to do is just hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future content when I do these updates. And if you got a comment, if you got some feedback for me, please post a comment down below and give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, because it really does help, especially when you're trying to grow a YouTube channel. I'm still a baby YouTuber. I'm still trying to learn the processes and everything that go with trying to run a proper channel. All right, that's it for now. You guys take it easy. We'll see you on the next update. Until then, be good, be safe out there, and we'll see you again back here later. Bye-bye for now.